Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 2006, written by AdelineKraxx. Virus Stroll turns into a quantum roll. In November 2019, before anyone knew about the virus in the UK, both me and my fiancé had it. We didn't know what it was until months later though. It hit my fiancé worse than me, and all she wanted to do was eat pastry. I was actually able to get out of bed, so while I still felt like death, I felt like a walk to the store was still doable for me, especially as I could get the bus home. The walk from the house to the store would take 35 minutes on a good day. I'm chronically ill with fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome. I promise these small details are important. The walk to the store took me a little longer, as I had to keep stalking to hack up a lung and catch my breath. I acquired the pastries and some sore throat medication before making my way to the bus station, which was beside the store, and finding the buses weren't running properly because so many drivers were off sick due to whatever this virus was going around. We didn't know anything about this novel virus until around February 2020. So I text my fiancé right as I start walking from the bus station that I'm on my way, but walking, so I'll be back when I'm back. She replied almost immediately with an okay, and to take my time. I put in my headphones and started my music, which I remember distinctly was a 10-minute song, and began walking. I remember reaching the edge of the store building and turning a corner, and then I remember walking up the garden path and opening the front door to the house. My fiancée had come downstairs to get a drink and was extremely confused as she saw me. She told me to check the time on the message I had sent. The message I had sent to her to say I was on my way home from the bus station had been sent 6 minutes previous. There is physically no way I could have made it home, an easy 3-kilometer walk. We play Pokemon Go, so we knew roughly the distance, in 6 minutes. Even if I ran, there was no way it could have happened. Even Usain Bolt couldn't have done it. I was also still only halfway through the song that was playing when I set off. I wasn't particularly out of breath. I didn't have a coughing fit upon arrival home, and that walk back always brought me out in a sweat, but I wasn't sweating. The only explanation I can come up with is that I teleported somehow. Case notes file 2006. Virus Stroll turns into a quantum roll. So first, I just want to commend you for going out and trying to get stuff for you and your girlfriend, even when you're deathly sick, because I know I haven't been sick in a while, not with a cold, and you just don't want to do anything. So, damn, well done. Plus walking that long and having to walk back because the buses weren't operating, that just sucks. But the universe was like, don't worry bro, I gotcha. Space-time portal. Engage. And yeah, just back in a flash. Nice. The universe can be helpful sometimes. Case file number 2007, written by acxdratt. Scared twins and tattooed sins. I, female 21, live in a town of about 50,000 people. Over the last year, I've had people come up to me at work and ask if I just got a new job. Confused, I always say no. A few months ago, my mom called me and asked if I'm in my local pet store where my stepdad is shopping. And I say, no. And my mom sends me a picture of who I even thought was me. I looked at the picture and was wondering if I've lost a bit of weight. I looked good, and then asked her where that picture was from. And she told me my stepdad just took it while shopping. Apparently he thought it was me and walked up to her and started talking to her, only to realize it wasn't me. Here's where it gets weird. I'm covered in deep scars, and the girl in the photo had the same scars as me. I also have a snake tattoo on my right arm. So did she. Same style and everything. She also had the same exact glasses that I wear daily. She was even wearing an outfit I've worn before. Now I have this picture of this woman who lives in my town who looks scarily like me. I want to meet her. I started asking people what her name is and explaining that I have a doppelganger. Her name sounds like Carrie, but isn't. I can't remember what the woman who came into work a few weeks ago said her name was. I don't know if I'm losing my mind, but there's too many coincidences here. I'm a micro-celebrity on TikTok. Do I have a stalker who's obsessed with me and wants to be me? Or maybe an old friend who follows my moves? I sound like I'm going crazy, but even I thought this woman was me. It's been weighing on my mind for months. Case notes file 2007. Scared twins and tattooed sins. I think doppelgangers are often in part simply us, copies of us from a different universe that got stranded here, in corporeal form, not just a soul transfer. So think of a space-time portal, but this one leads to a multiverse event, where they're stuck here. If they don't go back through the same portal, they don't go back. And I think there's a different quantum signature, if you want to say. There's a different identifier to the particles of that person. They don't belong in this universe, and we can sort of sense it. So that's why most of the time when you meet a doppelganger, you know something's off. You can't put a finger on what it is, but there's a sense of unease about it. Still, if you don't meet them, if you just see a picture, that's pretty cool. And I wouldn't mind just seeing a picture of my doppelganger. Just going about their day. Case file number 2008, written by whatamievens. From the floor to the top with Daniel's help. I have a sister 6 years younger than me, and when she was 3 to 4, she had an imaginary friend who did the typical things you know. Playing together, ask for a plate to be on set at the table so Daniel could eat with us, buckle him up in the car because he's coming, and all that. We used to have bunk beds back then, and she got really good at climbing the steps alone. So, when my mom was in the kitchen, cooking or cleaning, she would take the stepladder off and lock it in a closet. But sometimes I would go looking for my sister or my mom would, and she would be on the top bunk, playing with all her toys. We would ask her how she got up there without the steps, and she shrugged and say, "Daniel helped me get up here." You think she was big enough to do it herself, but no, she wasn't. And there were no extra bars to help her climb. So we would ask her to show us how she got up, and she always turned to ask Daniel to show us, and she'd just tell us he didn't want us to know. It was a little creepy. Other things she used to do with Daniel was to get on the kitchen countertops next to the stove. My mom would be cooking, and she could see my sister playing in the living room, so she turned around to get a pot or something from the fridge, or whatever, and when she turned back around, there my sister was on the countertop, looking into the pots trying to help with dinner. No cabinet doors open or any noise, he just appeared there. And again, when my mom asked her how, she said Daniel helped her up, because my mom needed help in the kitchen. It was bizarre. She stopped seeing him after my parents did her christening. Who knows if she had an overactive imagination and was great at climbing, or if Daniel was actually always there to help her. But my sister says now, as an adult, that she actually remembers a little boy named Daniel coming by, that he would play with her. She even describes him as having white complexion with blue eyes, and he was always wearing blue jean overalls with a white shirt. Case notes file 2008. From the floor to the top with Daniel's help. How many invisible friends, imaginary friends, are just spirits lingering behind? In this case, I'm guessing a younger spirit that died and was still stuck in that area. And obviously they can manifest to individual people. I think inducing within the mind, because really they're just patterns floating in our minds, very complex, but I suppose if you have the underlying code, when you die, your echo is given the mechanism to use that energy in the brain and just formulate a pattern of itself. So sometimes it doesn't have to manifest in a corporeal sense, or it could take a shower and eat food and stuff like that. I think that's possible too, but it doesn't have to be that way. And that probably is much more energy demanding. If you just appear via the mind, well, that's much easier. And only manifesting corporeally enough to aid the person you're interacting with, like lifting them up to the counter and to the bed and stuff like that, instead of always being manifested. I guess that's much less energy intensive. Now time for the joke of the day. When my wife had pregnancy complications, we asked for an obstetrician that was named Juan. "Help us, Obi-Wan. You're our only hope." Very but just hope the Empire doesn't strike back. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.